Hello, good day, and welcome to this very section. My name is Topman Paul-Dike. It's still a Python route, and today I'm going to be talking about Python string, how it behaves, and its methods, and then I'm going to be dealing with some things that you may want to refer to as advanced tasks. They are not really um, a string thing, but um, how to use the right function. Yes, the right function. Because if you ask to print something out without using print, this is how you go about it. Or to write something into a file, you know, that's what it does. And then I'm also going to talk about this model, py.compile, all right, and that will be it for this very video. Please, if you're watching from YouTube and you're not subscribed yet to this channel, kindly do, so that I'll get the opportunity to teach you what I know and even learn from you. Of course, you can get to connect with me. My If you click the about section, you will see my social media details. Yeah. All right, let's make progress. Strings. Now, strings according to me is anything that can be represented as text, anything, any character. So strings include, excuse me, string. Oh, what's happening? Strings include anything from uppercase A to uppercase Z, anything from lowercase a to lowercase z, and anything from 0 to 9, and any other thing, any other punctuation mark, you know, anything, and even space, they are they form a string. Even if it's just one character, it's a string in Python. Okay, and what is it to know about string? And you need to understand that strings are immutable. They have that characteristics. You can't change them, you can't alter them, you can't cause any change, and I will demonstrate that in a short while. Another thing that is important to know is how that they can be concatenated. And because you can't change a string, the only way you can have a concatenated work is either to temporarily display it in the on the interactive mode, or to save it into another variable, right? So let me call it concatenation, right? Concatenation, and that's quite simple. And then indexing. Uh, another thing to know is that you can slice string. This is very important. You know, about slicing of strings in Python. Another thing I'm going to talk about is string length. Um, I think this is as good as talking about the method. This Let me just put it in methods. Methods. So I'll call it string methods. Okay. So you can format a string. You can, yeah, that's what you call the escape character. It's good to know, escape character. And then I think we should know about multi-line string. Yeah, a string can span more than one line intentionally with lines, separating each component, each substrings that make up the string. And then I may also talk about comparison very briefly in Python string, and then I'll start discussing the method. When I get there, I think as I remember, as I recall, the ones are at least the basic methods, I will use them. So the next thing I want to do now is to enter into the interactive mode of Python. I'll make this larger a bit. Okay. I have this directory called, actually it's a repository called the Python route, where I save the work or the codes that I write here Where is it? So you can always refer to it if you're interested in the code, you want to play with them, you can come here later. Um, yeah, you can find it in the video description as well, right? Come here and play with the codes because we learn by doing. If you don't practice and all you do is just listen, you may not have the opportunity to learn, right? You don't want that. Let's make progress. So strings are immutable, but like, I'm going to go into the interactive mode so it will be faster for us. So this is interactive mode. So if I want to have a string here, um, I talked about variable in the past video. Please pardon me. I wouldn't want to start repeating those things because um, someone who is following the videos serially may find it boring. So this playlist has that is titled the Python route has it. I even talked about indexing there, so I may not even talk about it here again. I talked about indexing. I demonstrated it. I talked about slicing there. I did not talk about escape characters. I will talk about it. I did not talk about concatenation as well, but I'll talk about it. So let's talk about the immutability of strings, and I, I will I will be referring to I'll be making use of some of string methods, you know, to demonstrate that. Okay, so let's say string name. A string name has a value of Topman. Yeah, a string is a type of data, right? Type of data in the sense that is a type of value that can be represented as text that can be stored in the memory of the computer system. Of course, in this case, it will be temporarily stored. The moment I exit this uh, interactive mode, that will be all about any variable I declare here. Yeah. So now we have this guy called name. It's a variable called name. You can see inside it my name has been stored Topman. And if you want to know what type of variable is this, so what type of variable is name, Python already knows. You don't need to indicate. So it knows as it's strings because of the format uh, by which you declared it. So we can have a multi-line string as well. Let's say um, let me create another variable about Topman and say it's equal to, if I put let's see whether this works, 1 2 3, enter. Okay, it works. So Topman is a young so young man of valor. Okay, enter. Full of energy and ambition, or ambitious, very visionary. So it's waiting for me to end it by putting either single quote or double quotes. Because I use double quotes here, it has to end with double quotes. Three double quotes. It has to end with three double quotes. So I'll put 1 2 3. Then it will know that okay, this is the end of the string. So what happens now? Alright, I'm out of the string. So if I say print what we've got inside uh, the variable named about Topman, it gives me what I give to it as a string, the multi-line string. Because I did not start from here, it creates space here, and because this is what is as good as a space, a line, a blank line, it prints it as well, right? So you've known that about string, and these other things. I think there are things I will demonstrate as okay. Let me demonstrate escape character. Concatenation first. Concatenation. Um, right. So concatenation is just adding plus to join strings together. All right. So if I say if I declare a string part one equals, it can be enclosed in single quotes, it can be enclosed in double quotes. It's your choice. But there are cases where it's necessary that you use a particular type, depending on what you want to achieve. Yes, it just might be. So I am a. I say part two equals wealthy young man. So I have two strings, right? Part one as this. Let me clear the screen. do that again. Part 1 has this, and then part 2 has this. So to concatenate is just to add them together to make them one string, a single string. Alright, and great. Now let me talk about the okay. I am a you can see no space here. I am a word because I did not add space. So let me correct that. Say plus space plus how is this space? This is space because I have single quote here and between the single quotes is a space. So it's taking the character inside, right? The character between the quote to mark. Alright, so I am a weary man. There's a space here and yet has added that space, right? I'm a weary man. Okay, but then if you're printing that stuff and you just put comma in between them, there will naturally be space. By default, there will be space between them. Not because I added space here. Even if I take up the space, let's see what happens. Part 2. I am a very young man. Now that I added these two strings together, they are not really stored anywhere. The changes is not saved anywhere. The strings are still different. And that is talking about the immutability of Python string. You cannot go and change. I mean, let's begin with the first string I declared, Topman. So Topman of the element at index 0 will be T, because for indexing is just about numbering this whole element that is in the string from 0 to the very last one. So we have T at 0, O at 1, P at index 2, and so on. So if I say what is index 0, what is that index 0 in the variable Topman? Sorry, in the variable name, it says it's T. So since Topman is since n is a 6 letter, so that will be at index 5 because we're counting from 0, right? So if I do this, repeat this and say what is at index 5, it says it's this. Okay, I cannot come and say change what is at index 0 now to now be equal to, let's say, pop p side to be it will come up man. It will throw up an error because I cannot alter that stuff again. That's what we mean when we say strings are immutable in Python. You can't change anything about a string. The only way you can return a change is to save that change inside another variable. For example, the change I made here, right? The change I made here, let's take this very one that I did here. I'm going to copy it. And come here and paste it. And at the beginning, I'm going to save it in a variable. I'll say sentence is not equal to this. It is now saved. So if I go and check for sentence, I now have that string there, right? One way to know whether a variable really changed is to compare their ID. Each variable has an ID. So if I do ID part 1, it has this ID. Okay, if I do ID of part 2, you can see the IDs are different. The ID of part 2 will always be the same. So once you change, it is no more that thing. You know, so if I go and do part 1 is not equal to something else. Part 1 will cease to have that ID that it has before because this part 1 is no more than that part 1. You can see it's ending with 80 now. This one ended with 40. Because we have tampered with that particular memory location, like we've tampered with the content, so it is now a fresh content. This part 1 is not at all the part 1 that was before this is called reassignment. Before I reassigned, I gave this value to it. You know, once I gave another value to it, it became something. It became an entirely new variable, not the former one again. Okay, so that's what we will talk about. The immutability in strings. I've demonstrated concatenations. I've talked about indexing a bit. If you want to know more or learn more about indexing from me, I did it in the previous videos on this playlist. Slicing as well. We did slicing at length. Slicing is just about being able to cut the string from any part that you want. You know, cut it from any part that you want. For example, the I am a wedding man that is in sentence. Right, let's say we want to slice the string and have it as let's just say we want to take only wedding man from here now, right? What we want to do is to now, after using the I've started using methods. Okay, this is called method. What are methods? Coming. I want to combine slicing with a method. So I need to tell you what methods are. So methods are. I think I need to type it down. Um, method are functions that are associated with objects. What do I mean by this? Methods are functions, but they are not functions you just call like that. I mean, if you can call a function, you know, and just that way put your argument inside here. Let's say arg, you know. Let me. So, but for methods, you have to pass an object first. The object will be there. Let me just use obj for object. It could be anything, okay? Object, and then dot. You put dot notation, and then you call the method. You know, this is such a general syntax, okay? Let me call it general syntax. Okay, so this is it. For method that you now pass in, either if it does not take any argument, you leave the parentheses open. That is the circular brackets. If it takes any argument, you put. If it takes one argument, you put the argument there. If it takes two arguments, you put the first argument and the second argument based on how it works. So they have similar attitudes, but methods are associated with objects. Then you want to know what are objects. Well, in Python, actually everything is an object. Yeah, that's it. Because an object is a location in memory, a particular location in memory, and everything everything is a location in memory. It has an address. Everything you see is an address in memory in Python. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about a method called find. This is how find works. So because I want to slice from wealthy man, like I said, if you want detailed explanation, you may see the previous video, please. If you're not, or if you downloaded this video and you're not watching from YouTube, you can go to this um, channel and look for it on this playlist. The second video on this playlist, the Python route. Let's make progress. So I want to slice wealthy man, just wealthy man. Print for me. First of all, I use the guy called find. So I'll go sentence but find the word wealthy for me. Where did it begin from? So it says at index 7. That means it is the 8th element in that string. Okay, remember a string is an array of characters, right? But then that's C definition. But here, even if it's 1 letter, it's a string. It's a string. Anything enclosing single quotes or double quotes is a string. Okay, now that I know that it's at 7, I can easily let me know where man is too. So I'll do this on man. Where do we have man? Actually, typing man is not different from typing M. Just as typing W is not different from typing wealthy, because it will find the position of the first letter, right? First character. So man starts. So M is at 21. So since M is at 21, I can slice it like this. I say print for me sentence begin from index 7, and now I can count the word already. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'll say up to 14, and then after that print this slice again for me sentence from 21, of course, to the end. So I don't need to indicate anything there. I'll close this, then let's go. So you see I have wealthy man now. I just used a method called find. I just demonstrated slicing. So we're making progress. Next, escape character. Escape character is just I think backward slash, right? That's what we refer to as after I've talked about multi-line strings. We're really moving fast. Escape character is just about adding what's it called? Backward slash to a string. So when you add it, it might either make an ordinary character to become a special character, or make a special character to become an ordinary character. That's what it does. That's what it does. If I want to print, um, let's say, bum, 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 bum. Let's say name. So if I go and say print for me a string name, it prints name, right? So if I go and say print for me backward slash name, this guy will never print backward slash name. It will print a new line, and AME, because the escape character, the backward slash now made the end to become a special character. End ceased to be an ordinary text, an ordinary letter. It became a symbol, became a command, an instruction to print a new line. Here comes in raw string. Let me add raw string and f string. Making progress. Raw string, then f string. Okay, so let me go back. If I want to achieve that thing, make it print that way, I can come here and add another escape and add another backward slash. That is the escape character. Now I'm making that. I'm trying to make that forward slash to be ordinary. Sorry, that backward slash to be ordinary. So once it becomes ordinary, it will not print that new line again, that instruction again, right? Because it has become ordinary, right? So this is the one. This is the escape character now, coming to turn this backward slash into an ordinary character, so that this thing will print well. So let's try. So it printed well. Another way we can achieve that, you can see that the particular one that made it to become ordinary did not print. That one will hide, because each job is just to come and escape. It's just to come and perform an escape sequence. Now, another way we can achieve that is by making the raw string. I think it's just adding R. Let's see how this works. Yes, if you add R before the quote, the first quote, it becomes raw. Everything special becomes ordinary. So there are several characters that the escape sequence can turn into special characters. For example, let me grab this pen here and write. So things like T, you saw me do N. If you put backward slash T to print a tab, right? You know that 0. When you put backward slash and put 0, you're talking about the null byte, which of course should print nothing. Let's try that. Let's see. So if I say print backward slash 0, let me remove the row and see. It does not print anything, you can see. But if I go and make it a raw string now, it will print it out, because it ceases to be special. If I put an escape sequence here as well, it prints it as well. So backward slash before 0 makes it there are several of them, A for alarm and backspace, there are several of them. And there are some too that are, now there are two things about the escape sequence. One, it can make an ordinary character become special, and two, it can make a special character become ordinary. I take that again. It can make an ordinary character become special, like T is supposed to be ordinary, N is supposed to be ordinary. You add backward slash, they become special. They become not ordinary again. They become they are no more normal characters. And then that is one. Two, you can add a backward slash to something that's supposed to be a special character, it will become ordinary. Another example is, if I want to say I want to print my father's car here, and then I say, let me put my father's car. So see what happens. There's an error. I'm going to clear the screen and do that again. Right. So my father's car. You know why? Because you enclose the string in single quotes. You cannot put another single quote in the middle. That single quote, it will assume that it is the end of this string. So it is expecting this close bracket here. It's not expecting. It doesn't know what this remaining part is. So what will help us here is for us to go and change this one to double quotes. If we do it like this and then enter. It prints, no problem. Another way we can do it is to leave it as single quote and then command. Now see, the single quote is special, but was either backward slash, that is an escape character. It's no more special. The backward slash will turn it to an ordinary character, and the backward slash will not print. Look at that. Look at that. In the same vein too, if you have somewhere where you want to put double quote in the string, then you want to have the string enclosed in single quotes. Sorry. Yes, that's actually it. So if I want to put something like um um the so-called, in quotes, engineer. Now this will work perfectly well. You can see it's printing because one the double quote to print. If I had this guys enclosed in double quotes, then there will be trouble. There'll be trouble. Look at that. And if I don't want that trouble, it's either I go back to the way I did it before or to come and put escape sequence here. So if I put one here, I put one here, I have turned them to ordinary characters and it worked. Alright, you're making progress. Please, if you're on the live call and you have any section, feel free to interrupt and ask you have any question, feel free to interrupt and ask your question. I'll be glad. I cite you. You're about the most active person in this call. Leslie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kindly mute if you're not talking to me. All right. Now F string. Another thing is about F string. That's talking about how to print. Like you want to print how to print variables from a string. I want to print variables. F string is just one of the ways you can do that. There are about 3 or 4 ways you can get that done, according to me anyway. So, oh, I just get that person messy. Okay, making progress. Comparison. Talking about comparison. I've demonstrated raw string, I've demonstrated multi-line string, I've demonstrated escape character. We are through with all of these, and we just talk about F string, comparison, and I talked about F string in the yes in the other video. But let me just say something. F string is just about you putting some making some dynamic um, putting some dynamic content inside your string. What I mean is, let's say we have number one, number one as 40. This is not a string, this is an integer, so I don't need to enclose it within single quote or double quote. And so number two is equal to 2. So if I want to add them together, I can do print. If I want to print the sum of these two numbers, I can do print number one plus num 2, and this space you're adding here is just for us to read it clearly. It will work whether we add the space or not, right? Even though you add plenty of space, let's see, add thousands of space if you want, if you care, it's still going to give you the same result. So a lot of times things we do is just for us and our fellow programmers to be able to read well. Now what if I wanted to put something like um, uh, let's say I want to say in 12 years time I'll be 42, so I'll go in 12 years time from now, comma, I will be. Now if you are instructed not to hard code it, don't hard code it means putting the values by yourself, right? I've just it's an important term you should know about. So let me put it down somewhere just for you to pay attention to it. Don't let it pass by. Take note of the word hard coding. Hard coding it means putting the values inside by yourself. All right, where the value of the program is there, but and then let's say we don't want to hard code it. We want to be dynamically generated from the variables. Okay, we don't want to give the values. Okay, so that the value will be generated at runtime when it's running. So it means we have to go and get it from that variable. We have to go and get it from that variable. And how do we do that? One way of doing that is putting open and closing curly brace and using an inbuilt method called dot format. I just it's not really a string method, so I won't add it here. So dot formats, and in dot format you now state what you want to happen inside that place. So say dot format, I want it to do one plus two, and so I will be this. Let's try. Look at it. It worked well. So F string just has a way of making it easier, very much easier, where you don't need to do call it dot format again. You just have to put it here straight. Just let me copy this from here and paste it here. Okay, and this would print like an ordinary string. Watch, you can see that's not what we want. We wanted it to give us the sum. We wanted to give us the sum of the numbers and not just print that. But then, um, if we add f at the beginning, like this, oh, something has gone wrong. In 12 years time from now, I will be this. What could be the matter? Okay, invalid syntax. Hmm. I wasn't expecting this. I didn't even can't even. What is the matter? Okay, let me use single quotes and see. Oh, this is strange. Quite strange. Um, okay, so I can't tell exactly what is happening here. I can't tell exactly, but I'm trying to try it on my local computer, in my system, to see what is happening. Now using vagrants there. So Python 3. What am I doing? I'm already in Python 3. Okay, so let me copy that stuff I just did there. String equals this. Copy and paste it here. See, there's no error. What is happening? Look at it. So 2 plus 2, it because it's so anything you put inside is within the curly brace. If it is arithmetic, it will evaluate whatever it is. If it requires action, if it's something that has to be executed, it will execute, and then the result will be what will come out. So long as there is f, before the opening or the first, okay, the opening quote, right? And that's what I expect here. So I don't know why this error is happening here. See, I just exactly the same thing here. I don't know why it's happening. I'd like to find out why. I mean, I'm wondering whether it's about the version of Python I'm using or what. I don't know. I've never encountered this before. But that's not about L string, okay? Okay, maybe I should go and do this thing just and see what will happen. So we'll have num1. Num1 equals 40. Num2 equals 2. So I'll say print. Let me even copy it the way it is there. So I'm surprised why it's giving me error here. So print. Am I taking it from? Let me take this one. F string in 12 years time I will be base. Copy and paste it. Okay, print and paste it here. So it worked. So what's happening? It's okay. I can't tell why it's not working. Yeah, but it works, right? It does work. I'd like to know why it's not working. If you know, please, if you find out, do let me know. I'd like to learn. Okay. So we've talked about several things, and what is left? Let's talk about some. Let's play with some string methods. Let's play with some string methods. Now I'm being what's the word? Now I'm wondering whether I'm hoping that this diagram doesn't form do something funny. Okay, comparison. Yeah, you can compare two strings. Okay, this thing is very important. When I started learning these things, I was wondering why will you be telling me something like, let's say um num1 is equal to num2 to produce false because it's false. So what's the essence of you just put something and the answer is false? You put something and the answer is true. But now I understand perfectly where I understand perfectly, and I'm still learning. Like those boolean values, they do a lot of work in programming, a lot of work, a lot of work. Even when you're beginning, you have to do a lot of work. So you can compare strings as well. You can say is what's that kind of sentence? There are several one of those strings, those variables I declared earlier. Name, right? I had name. Yeah. So is name equal to, no, it's not a single equal to. If you put single equal to, you're talking about assign. You're saying assign the value top man. Okay, now this means assign the value top man to this variable name. Let's see, with the id, just by the way, will the id change if I do that? Let's check the id. The id is name. Okay, let's now do assign the string top man to name, and let's check the id again. The id is still the same. Interesting. That means he knows that it's still top man that is holding. Okay, so let's find out now. Is string, sorry, is what is inside the variable name equal to the string top man? It says yes. Now let me do something else. Let me try to save this something in another by doing, I say um, my name. Assign what is in name to my name. It means that I now have a variable, my name, that has the same value. Now, is the content of um, name, my name, equal to the content of name? It says true. Now, another interesting comparison is using the word is. This is like saying, is my name and name the same object? It says true, they are the same object. That's the reason why it maintained that same ID. They are exactly the same object. Watch, let me create a different object now. Let me see. Let me do um, um, the name. Give it the same value. Let's see what happens here. Now, if my name and name are the same object, then the ID of my name should be equal to the ID of name as well. Let's see. What is the ID of my name? It says it is. Just let's check again. What's the ID of name? Look at it, exactly the same. Okay. Now I have another variable, the name, right? It has the same content. Let's check for the ID. ID of the name. The same thing. You can see the powerful nature of string. Whereas if I was working with lists, let's see how it happens. Like I did not associate the name with any of these variables. I just gave it the content, same content. So if I ask again, is the name the same object as name? It says yes, they're the same object. Whereas if I was working with lists and I say my lists, yeah, it's not a class about list, but I just thought I should deviate a bit. My list equals 1, 2, 3. Let's say numbers equals list are, you put values, comma, separated values within square brackets. That's what lists are. That's how you create lists in or represent lists in a Python program. So let me give this one the same value. True. Alright, so is the content of my list equal to the content of the variable numbers? It says true. Now, is my list the same object as numbers? it says false. They are not the same object. It means if we check for the ID will be different. I want you to see the immutability of strings. I want you to appreciate it. Now, what is the ID of numbers? It says this. What is the ID of? See the way I'm literally talking, but I'm typing something else. That's programming for you. You're writing. You're discussing with the machine. So I'm discussing with the machine now, but you will not understand my English. What you understand is what I'm typing. So I'm saying it the way humans understand it, and I'm typing it the way, the way Python understands it to, you know, to instruct the machine. Okay, is my list. What is the ID of my list? You can see they're different, very different. So to make them the same, I probably need to save. Let's try this. Let's say I assign my list and say my list. I want to give you the value of numbers. All right. Now let's check for the ID of my list again. Now look at this. It now has the exact ID of numbers. You can see the exact ID, the number different again. So that they have the same value does not make them have the same ID, does not make them point to the same object. But strings, as you're giving that same object to another variable, it will go and locate where that one is, where it is already in the memory. And it will be pointing to the same thing because of that immutability. I mean, you know that string cannot change. Therefore, if it's this string, is this string. If it's this string, is this string. So right now, if I ask that question again, I say, is my list pointing to the same object as numbers? It says true, whereas it said false before. So that's a bit about comparison. I have to bring in lists into the picture, but we're talking about strings, okay? So I think that's cool enough. I think I can now drop into some methods. Another method that we can use to find let me write down some methods. Let me see how much I can remember about this method so that um, I'll just be talking about them and demonstrating them on the console. So we have the lower method. Lower. Okay, let me just call this. I like to let me arrange this board a bit. String method in Python. I'll make this bigger. It's the title of this board. And here I'll go ahead and start listing them. So we'll have lower, we'll have upper. If you're here and you know some methods, please you may unmute and help me. Remind me some. We have a strip. Just submit at random. I will hear you. Now add yours. We have split. We have join. We have starts with. Doesn't look like a basic method, but it's worth knowing. We have ends
We also
with.
have title,
Come again?
title,
Python.
title, title.
Title. Thank you.
TITLE.
Yeah. So we used find a while ago. Let me put it here. Find. Another kind that works like find is index. But the difference is that one raises a value error when the value is not found. We use find to check whether to find the position, the index position of a particular substring. You know, substring content of the string, a particular section of the string. So we'll find its position with a find and with the index method. But which one returns? I think index raises the value error. Yes, this one raises value error when there is no such thing. Why this one returns? I think one. Is it one? Yes, returns one or minus one. I'm not sure now. Okay, that's by the way. Who remembers some more? Should I stop here? There is replace. Yes, as replace. Um, I think this enough. Let me work with capitalize as well. Capitalize. Yes, there's also subcase and several more of them. Let's work with this one. So we've worked with find works just as index well. So if you saw me use find some minutes ago, you can use index as well that same way. Lower is just to turn it to lowercase. Okay, so let's start working with existing string. We have a string called what did I do? We have a string called name. We have a string called sentence. Let's work with one called sentence. I see this one is big enough to not this one. About Topman. Yeah, this one is large enough to demonstrate it. I think I'll be using sentence and these two strings. Yes. You show me. I don't want it printing like this. It has turned this to. I don't want it printing like this. Vagrant, what is wrong with you? Okay, let's try. Print about Topman. Okay, alright, so that's it. Print. Alright, so if I work with this sentence, if I go now and say sentence, remember to use the method you have to add dots and call the name of the method. So this name of the method is lower. It does not take. I'm not sure it takes any argument. I've never used it for an argument. So if I do sentence.lower, see what it does. It turns everything to lowercase, and that may not be very obvious because it's only I that used to be uppercase, right? So if I do it, you can see here I will have V as uppercase, F as uppercase, T as uppercase. Let's see what happens. So we'll now do about Topman dot lower. Everything becomes lowercase. I don't like this format. Let me add a print statement to it. Say print about Topman lower. Alright, so print it like this. Even my name. I don't like it when I see my name begin with lowercase. I so dislike it. Even this file this variable that I named about Topman, I just managed for convention's sake to put lowercase t. Let's make progress. So in the upper does the opposite. This will be very obvious now. Sentence.upper must not forget to add the parentheses. I am a very young man, but this thing is not changing the content of the variable. I appreciate that. It is not changing it because sentence is still the way it is. That change is very temporary. It just made a copy of this thing, of this string, and made a change to it. And this copy is lost like this. The only way you can retain it is to save it inside another variable. Let's say uppercase. Let's declare a variable uppercase and say is not equal to sentence dot upper. This is the only way you can catch that change. Now inside the variable uppercase is the inside the variable uppercase is the change that was made, right? Whereas sentence is still the way it is. You see, that's it. Let's go back, take some more, and then strip takes off space. Let's not change what is inside sentence. Of course, let me show you just to show you that just to maintain that string is immutable. Mark the ID. Once I do what I'm about to do now, the ID will change because I'm reassigning value to it. The law is a law. You cannot change a Python string. You cannot make any change to it, a particular string. So if I say reassign a new variable to sentence, add space. Let me add space at the beginning. So I'll put a string here, put space inside, put string here, and then say plus. Remember concatenation, right? And then come here and say as well plus space. Let's go. Now let's check for the ID of sentence again. It has changed. Why? Because this is what sentence is now. Sentence is now a string that has some space here and have another space here. So if we want to have another string that looks like that, we use the strip. So sentence does strip. When you don't put an argument, this is what you get. It goes for the space and take them all off. So this is it. It takes the space. As in the space that appears at the beginning and at the end of the string. They will be all gone. But then sentence is still having that space because you can't change it. But let me change it back. And of course, if I change it back, it will not. Let's see what happens. sentence dot okay, sentence equals sentence dot strap. Interesting. So this is it. Who wants to know what will happen when we check the ID? Somebody should talk. If I check, will the ID become what it used to be before, or something new? You think we're going to have this ID, or an entirely new ID? Someone has got to talk now. Someone has got to talk. Hello, are you with me? Do you think the ID will change or go back to what it used to be? Yeah, Leo, you want to say something? Okay, you are unmuted, but I can't hear you actually.
I think maybe it will change.
Could you please be more audible?
I think it will change.
It will change to a new one.
Yes.
Kenny say something. Are you saying the same thing?
Yes, it will change to a new one based on what, since he said already removed the space within the I am a wealthy man. So it just be instead of the space to be I am a wealthy man. Because since the sentence have been stripped, the space have been stripped off
Yeah.
from the variable itself, from the keyword. So it remain only I am a wealthy man. So the other space will be removed.
Okay, I was actually asking that whether it will change, but will it change back to what it used to be when it had no space? You know, this is what sorry, this
So
is what it used to
is
be when
it
it
to
had
the
no space.
like address number?
What?
Yeah, I think it will change. It should.
Okay, I don't know what
Yeah,
about that.
it
Alright, so
will.
I'm entering it right now. Let's see. Watch this.
It will.
Watch this. It changed back to exactly what it used to be.
It changed.
So it went back. It reversed back. Isn't that interesting? We stripped the space and it changed back to what it used to be. That's because due to the immutability of strings, when a memory is assigned to it, it's like that is your space. It's like there is only one of your kind in this memory, and this is where you're located. There is only one of your kind. There is no two. There is no two string like you. So in the memory, you don't find any two string that look exactly alike. That's as far as I know. You know, right? So once you look alike, you're referring to the same object, except is something else, maybe like a list, like you saw earlier, some minutes ago. Like, all right, let's do with join. Oh, I should have used join. Join is like the opposite of this guy. Okay, no, no. Join joins lists together. Split turns it to lists. Join brings it together. Let's try. Let's try. We are going to use split. So sentence or split. If I give it no argument, this is what happens. So it splits it to a list. I becomes a member of the list, comma, am, comma, a, comma, wealthy, comma, young. So let's just save it inside a variable. So let's call that command back and add a command like this: new list equals this. All right. So this is now the content of new list. Right now, this is what join does. New list dot join. So new list dot join. Uh-oh, am I using it wrongly? I think my syntax is wrong. List has no object attribute. Oh, excuse me. Is there something I'm missing? Hmm. So what am I supposed to do with join? Okay, let's try this. This is sentence. Let's do sentence the join. Let's say name. Let's see what happens here. Oh, oh. Okay. So what is happening here is T. I am a wealthy man. O. I am a wealthy man. P. I am a wealthy man. So this is quite interesting, right? Quite interesting. Okay. It's interesting. So you just adding, you just making the making name the delimiter, something like that. Or let me play with space. Let me play with comma to see whether make it clearer a bit. Sentence just join this. What are you doing now? What am I don't understand again, honestly. I don't understand what is happening here again. Okay, let's do uh, that join. Wow. Okay, so yeah, specify the delimiter and I join them together. So what that means, are you saying I can use it like this? Join sentence. That's problem. Join is not defined. Okay. Now what I was expecting is that when I use join here, it will merge this list and make it a string. But I don't know why I got this. I don't know what I'm wrong with that thought. Like, maybe I should check it on another environment and see. Let me check another environment. Okay, let's say new list is equal to this. To mark of that system. So new list equals this. So new list the join. Actually, you're talking about string method, and I'm using just list method. Maybe I'm the one looking for trouble. It's also not working here. So let's say sentence equals we are learning. So what? See me doing ls. What will sentence dot joy produce? Error. What if I put space here? Only space. So it's doing the same thing. There's something there tends to be something I'm not remembering about it. So join. Okay. Okay. let's try this. Sentence. Oh. Okay. I think I still don't understand very well. But what he did here was, since I specified space here, I went and added space in between every character. I added one space here, one space between these two things. That's not very understood by me. It's been long. I use that guy, so maybe I'm not sure what it does again. But if you know, you can inform me. You can just tell me. You chat to me. You can post us in the comment on this video. I'll be glad. Okay. Next is starts with. You want to know what a string start with. You want to test to see where am I now? Yeah, I have this long sentence again about Topman. So does the statement start with Topman? I expect this to be false. Let's see. So about Topman dot starts with um, Topman. So it says false as experience because it starts with a new line actually. So what slash n. Now it says true. So similarly we have the ends with dot ends with. So let's say does it end with a new line? You appreciate this more when you're dealing with a string that you don't really I mean you're expecting, let's say you're expecting a string to end with a new line. And okay, let's say you're expecting a number, you're building an app and somebody will enter his number and it's a Nigerian app or it's an international app and you want the the person to start with country code, and so you want to make sure that it starts with plus. So you can just check number. Let's say you're studying the variable, start with number. You now say number that starts with, starts with. If I plug in a, okay, there's no variable number. That's what it's misbehaving. So number equals 0. Let's say 07 what and what have you, and then you want to check, and you say number dot starts with plus, put it inside here, and you check, and it says false. So you can use it to check and say if number dot starts with plus is false, send an error message, tell the person enter your country code. So that's it about that. You can check out the rest by yourself. I think I want to skip now. This one, what it does is replace this one capitalize. It makes every first letter capital letter. It presents it as title, where okay, if I pass a string like this now to it, it will make this to be uppercase. Like I think it will make this I to be uppercase as well. So every first letter will become uppercase. But if you use capitalize will make the very first letter to be uppercase. That means, assuming this guy was in lowercase and you now use capitalize, it will turn it to uppercase. Remember, we learn by doing, so don't just watch, practice, okay? We go and replace the particular substring. Swap case, we swap the case as it is. If it is lower case, it will become uppercase. If it is uppercase, it will become lower case. And then replace. Okay, let's try replace here in this plenty string that I used here. Where's that guy? About Topman. So print about Topman. It prints this. Now let's replace Topman with Kenny. So let's go. So ask it to print about Topman dot replace. Okay, I think the first argument should be, I think it takes 2 arguments if I'm not mistaken. Let's try. The first argument should be what you want to replace, and the next argument should be what you want to replace it with. If this doesn't work, I'll leave it to you. Okay, so it worked. Kenny is a young man of value. Now let's see what will happen if we have plenty of it. So let's have about and say Topman is cool. Topman is cool, comma, I like Topman when he teaches. God bless Topman. Let's just see how, whether you can replace more than one or just one. So about. Now let's print for us about dot replace replace Topman with Kenny. What happened? I did not close the print bracket. Okay, so here we go. So Kenny is cool. I like Kenny when he teaches. God bless Kenny. That's it. That's about it. All right, people. Let's talk about some things that I refer to as advanced tasks. I'm going to be teaching us 2 things or discussing 2 things. If you have some information to give me, please. I came to learn as well. That's why it's called pair learning. We learn together. Okay. Let's learn what if you're asked to want to learn how to use the right function is not a Python string matter, and then how to a bit about bytecodes. Python bytecodes. Now, not the plenty of explanations. I'll just do brief explanations and do some practicals and let you go, and then okay. And the bytecodes I mean are Python bytecodes, Python bytecode rather. Right in Python because that's right in other programming languages. Show you some interesting phenomena. And it's very, very, very interesting indeed. So I'm going to leave the interactive mode and write files. Let's do this on Bash. So I will exit. All right, I'll clear the screen. Here's the repository. So I'm going to make a new directory just to save the work. I'll call it advanced task. And I like to number my directories. Like I like to attach numbers to them, so I'll call this one advanced task. I number them from 0 to F. It's like a decimal number system. I'm going to CD into it. Okay, so let's play. What is the right function? Recall that in Bash, Bash itself is a programming language. What does echo do? Echo prints out anything you give to it as an argument, right? So if I have an empty file here, and the name of the file is, let's call it test file. Alright, so I now have an empty file, it does not have anything inside it. So I can write a bash script that will help me perform the task of writing something into it. Remember that I can write a line of code on bash and run it. I can write, for example, if you want to print the design of Python, let's start from simple print hello world. So I just call Python 3, and I will say, because I'm not giving it a file name, I'm giving it a code directly. I will now put -c, and then I will put this quote here to now put my instruction inside. I say print hello world. Okay, there'll be a problem here because I'm using single quotes everywhere. So let me do this. Alright, so it prints hello world. Okay, so if I want to print the design of Python, let's do this. Python 3 C, and of course I think you just import this. This is correct. So that's it. Design of Python, those codes, code of conduct, like core principles on which Python programs are written. So beautiful is better than ugly, explicit is better than implicit, and that way. I think there are about 90 of them if I'm mistaken. Let me clear the screen. Having known that, let's write into this file first using a bash script. So I'm going to create a file called script.sh. It's not spelling a script right now. And that's not spelling a script. I think I want to correct it. So change script to script. Now open with Vim the file script. Okay. Remember, I don't want to use shebang command right now. Okay. I mean, usually you want to use shebang command here at the first line, but that's my business now. I can do without it. So echo into the file, echo this is the first line from the bash script. Well, I would have enclosed all of this in between in single quotes or double quotes, but then it is safe because they are ordinary letters. There is no special character inside, so it's safe. I can just leave it this way and say save this thing inside a file named, what's the name of the file again? Test file. Test file. All right, and then echo again, and this is the second line from bash script, from the same script, and save it in the file test file. I want these two lines to be saved, and the reason why I'm using double of this greater than sign or redirect sign is because I don't want it to overwrite anything that is there already. Okay, so let me save this. So if I run this script now, I'll call bash. I say bash, come and run your script. It ran. It's as though nothing happened. The script is here. Test file. Is that test files? Oh, I wrote test files inside the bash script. Let me see. Oh, I wrote two files. One test file, the other one. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do actually. So it now has. Okay, watch this. Interesting. It now has this in the other one and has this. In this other one, but that's not what I want. So I'll go and change it. The script. So I want is as the same test file here. Now save it. I just want to. I would like to remove what is inside this one. Let me delete these test files. It's gone. Let me empty the test file. So there's nothing inside test file now. Okay, I didn't do it well. Okay, so there's nothing inside test file again now. Let me clear the screen and let me run this script again by calling the bash. I say bash, run the script for me, and the files are here. If I cut into this file to see the content, you can see we have two lines. I can use Python file to do this thing as well. I can use Python file to write into the same file. So I can even run the command straight on this command line that will write the test file. But let's use a file. Okay, so let me create a file. I'll call it write.py. Yeah, so to write into that file, first I need to import. Okay, I don't import anything. I need to open the file. Okay, so that file is in the same directory here, right? So I call the write function. Sorry, I'll open the file first. I'll open the file. The file is, I'll specify the path. Dot forward slash means that it is inside the same directory. Dot means the same directory. Forward slash, then follows by the file name. What's that file name again? Test file. Yeah, and then I want to open it with the right permission by putting W here. But then if I open this thing like this, how will I now work on it? How will I now get the open file? It's by saving it in the variable. So let me just call the variable file. You can call it anything actually. So let me call it file. So file equals this. So it will not be saved in that file. So I can now use the method. Write is the method, right? I cannot do file.write because I have opened the file now. I've opened the file inside here. This will happen under the hood. You don't see it. I cannot use the method called write and say this is what I want to write into it. Say this is the first line from the Python file. All right. Let me write some more. I say file.write. Here is another one from the Python file. Alright, after writing, please don't forget to close it. File.close. Don't just open it. Close it after writing. And this should work if there's no error. So I'm going to close and save. And now I want to run it. So let's call the one that formerly we called bash, right? Now we are calling Python 3, the interpreter for this guy that can understand this language of this guy. So Python write.py. Let's go. Let's find out. Okay, this is the first line from Python. Here is another one from Python. I did not add new lines, right? So let's go back. You want to talk to me? Who's unmuted? Mm, so because I did not open it with the append, like it doesn't have command to append, so it went and overwrote what was there. So just to show you, there's nothing inside the test file again. So let's run that command again. Python 3 pi. Let's now cut to see what is here. It says this is the first line from the Python file. Here's another line, another one from the Python file. Of course, because I did not use append, it went and overwrote. It will always overwrite what is there. And if I now run the other one again, the script, and say mm, for the four lines should be there right now. Nah, so you can see. You can see, the first line. This is the first line from purify, another one from purify, and then we have this is the first line from the bash script, another one from the bash script. Now the same way, let me clear the screen. The same way you can do echo whatever. You can use Python too. Python -c print whatever. So I can even use a file. Let me do this again. Let me try to print it using the script now. Let's say um, um, okay, I think I want to call them, let me give them the same name. So I will change this one to write .sh. Okay, so that it will be sh versus py. So let me call this one on the console. Let's call it std out standard output.sh, and then std out.py. I'm going to use the touch command to create these files. Okay, so I'm going to open stdout.sh and give it the command. I want it to simply print something out. So echo printing out from bash script. From the bash script. If I save this and if I run the file, oh, something is wrong with my command. I say bash instead of bash. Alright, so it says printing from bash scripts. Okay, this is now, I'm not writing into a file again, I'm writing into the standard output. Hope you're following. I'm writing to the standard output. Now let me do that to the Python file. So I'm going to open the stdout.py. Now here I need a model called sys. So I can refer to sys.stdout. Stdout is standard, okay? Standard output. And dot, let's say dot write. Yeah. So I want you to write printing out or printing from the Python file or Python program. Let's see if this works. Okay, so I will save it, come out, call the Python interpreter, and pass std.py to it. Okay, I do not add a new line. I don't like my program looking messy. Don't mess up the program for me. So print this and add a new line to it. Let's go again. Let me clear the screen. Let's compare the both of them. First, let's bash that script scr.sh. Let's now Python 3 the file stdout.py. So printing out from the bash script, printing from the Python program. That's interesting, isn't it? There's a standard input, there's a standard output, there's a standard error. So if someone gives you, let's say print an error message, you know, print an error message. I mean, you can actually save this stuff, right? You can save this stuff inside environment variable. Let me create an environment variable. I'll just say export. Export is just a keyword. Then no variable will be in uppercase. So say export mm, bash script. Let's see. Let me call it sh script. Sh file. Sh file. No space. You put equal to. We now give it the name of this file. Okay. Name of name of the file.
That one.
Yes. You want to talk to me?
I'm kind of lost. So I don't. Yeah, from when you started from the beginning future, right? I kind of I miswrote. I'm lost.
Okay. Where did me see, please? Where exactly?
From the bash, yeah, from the sh when you created the sh, then
Okay.
you put it out, compile it. Yeah.
All right. This sh should not confuse you, right? I can change script.sh. Oh, it's not here again. Okay. I can change write.sh to just be right. Oh, I used the wrong command. Is mv, not nv. All right. And I can change std.out.p.sh to become std out, and everything will still work. Maybe I should make it to be more familiar. I should bring it to something you're more familiar with. You know what echo is. Echo equals anything you give it. It prints it out. That's this way. Alright, it prints it out. Anything at all. So anything you just pass to echo as an argument, it will print out that same thing for you. Now, okay, I must have put some special commands. Okay, the semicolons. Alright, the semicolons made it to react differently. So if I take off the semicolons, so it prints it normally. Okay, now having known that, I have not used anything here that I think is too hard for you to understand or strong enough to confuse you. So it's just something I put inside here. So if I had put this thing straight on the command line, you know what the result would be, don't you? So look at that. But in this case, I am not running it straight from the command line. I am putting it inside. I'm putting it inside a file. And maybe the reason you are not, maybe the reason is a bit confusing is because of the way I'm doing it. Let me now go back and say std out and make it look a bit familiar and say, what's it called now? This hash slash bin slash bash, right? And then come here and do chain mode u plus x. I believe this is you're familiar with this now. It turns green, and then I don't need to call bash again. I just keep bash here and just do dot forward slash std out, and then it prints. What's that? Line 1. What's the problem? No file or directory. Are you serious? You're not being friends right now. It's my business. Am I okay? I'm the one getting it wrongly. One of the where is hash before this. Alright, so let me write it again. So it prints very well, exactly where. I choose to believe that you're familiar with this one, what I just did now. And we can do the same thing for Python, for the Python file. Let me change the Python file too. And now say std.py. I can put a shebang command here as well. I say, hey, we'll get the interpreter from user being Python 3. And then I'll come here and do the something I did earlier here, the change mode command. But this time I will say change mode for .py file. And here we go. The both of them should turn green now. So I can run either of them. std.py will give us this printing from the Python program. Okay, I want you to understand how that. Okay, let's take it by bit. First, you understand how this is happening. This is not confusing, right? I need feedback from you. This particular one, std out. You understand this perfectly well. Yeah. That was Kenny, right? Are you with me? Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
So do you understand this part very well, perfectly well?
Yes, I do.
Great. You also understand that I can decide to create a variable. Say export script. Well, let me call it my script. My script equals, and I'll say std out. By doing this, I have saved it inside my script. So if I to see what is inside my script, I did this in the last video, right? Inside my script, I put the dollar sign echo dollar. It shows what is inside my script. It means that if I do dot forward slash and do echo dollar my script, if I B29 my script, let's see what happens. So it also performs the same function. That means I am running the file indirectly by I'm accessing it through the variable, environment variable in which it is saved. I believe this is not confusing. I believe it's not confusing. So I can as well choose to go and get another file to do this. So I can say run script. I'm creating a new file, run script. And what I want the run script to do is, let's start with this hash bin bash. Who's playing music for me? My script. Okay, so if I do this now, I am instructing this bash script to go and run that file. So if I close from here and then do change mode, user plus executable, and say run script turns green, it's not executable. So if I run script will run into this file, into the environment variable, my script, to check what is inside and perform what we ask it to perform. And when it goes inside, it will not see this std out and then do what it does. You can see now. Let me do that. Now I now have a file, a bash script called run script. I have another one as well called std out, and I also have another one called, okay, this is an environment variable actually, so let me put dollar here, my script. I need this to be on one line. So let's look at the relationship again. What std out does is to print let's say std out is represented by a box like this. So S2 app becomes a container. Let me take this backward. Okay, and then uh, let's say we now have this one as this. Okay, so we now went and saved this file inside here, inside my script. So this file now, let's say is this container, is now inside my script, an environment variable. We now wrote, what's this? Oh, and this is to the back. Okay, so we now wrote a script, and what this script does is to, my mouse is acting up now. Come on, stop this. Oh no. What it does is um, to go into this particular environment, my script, and then it will make this symbol dollar, which means expansion. And when it does, it will expand it to see that okay, this guy really stands for this. It will not do it will now run this guy because it has instruction to run whatever it is that is saved inside the environment variable of my script. It should now run it. It should then run it to give us the result. Oh, network. Mm, okay. All right. Time is fast spent. I think I've explained that. So you've seen that what is happening here is that we declared an environment variable and saved inside it the very file that we wrote. And that file was a bash, or it's a bash script that uh, all it does is you just print to the standard output a certain string, right? Right, and so we now wrote a script that runs the file for us, and this script does not run the file directly. It goes to expand this environment variable. It goes to find out what is inside and takes its content and run it, and its content, which is this file, we now run. And that was the same thing we did with that Python um, program as well. I'm talking about the program. What am I doing? Okay. So what we did with this bash script is the same thing we did with this Python file. You know, I just showed you how to use write to print out, how to write into a file, and I showed you how to use write to write out, to print it out to the standard output. You know, and then what did I do here? Yeah, that's basically two things I did. I wrote into a file with this. I wrote to the same file with this, and I printed the standard output with this as well as this. So if you ask to print, let's say if it's an error, both of them will still, they are still alike, they still come out. Most like they are still printed on the standard output, but just that the other one is about errors and the other one is about feedbacks or results. Okay, so if I go and modify that file, I could modify it to print error. So it's just to change this to stderr, standard error, right? So cool. Also, I may as well add an exit status of 1, you know, and then that's it. Let's say error from the Python program. stdr.py, error from the Python program. Okay, but I think I will let me rather have two files. So copy std out.py. Let's have one as std standard error.py, and I will go and modify std out to be what it is so that the name will make sense. And so let me take this off. Status of is status of 1 signify error, Let me change this to what it is to be printing. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. The next thing I want to talk about is okay, because of time, let me just be brief about it. The byte code, PY codes. If okay, this code that we have here right now, to make it run faster, you know, to make it run faster, we provide something that looks like a compiled copy. The interpreter is able to read it faster, and that's something you may not appreciate where you're writing single programs like this. But what if all these things on my terminal were all codes? You wrote a code that was this long, and let's say it's an app. App have many lines of code, but you want to be fast. You want it to run fast. So when it's dealing with bytecodes, it's faster, it's speedy. Okay, so why it's an interpreter? Because it's able to perform the compilation in a way, compile and interpret and render what the instructions, render what is in the file, what is supposed to be rendered, right? So but you can do something that will carry out some actions that will provide that compiled file. So I hope this does not confuse anyone. I mean, this is not, I'm doing the normal thing I do, right? Running the Python code, you put Python 3 when you run the codes directly on the command line. So I need to import a model. Okay, let me do it in a file to separate it. So I'll go like this. I'll call this one compile.py. It could be any name, right? And I want to import the model called my_compile. This one is standard, it couldn't be anything else. And so I want to compile the file, this file here. Hold on. Let me try with this one here. I want to provide a compiled copy. Alright, so I will go back to my editor, and what I'm going to do is call a function inside it called compile. So my compile dot compile. Okay, so I pass to it the path to the file that I want to compile. That's the first argument it takes, right? It could take about 4 arguments. Yeah, about 4 arguments, and they are optional arguments except for the first one. At least there must be one argument, the file that you wanted to compile, the path to it. So I do the /std out. What's the one I wanted to compile? Let me do std out and .py. That is it. So if I pass only this argument, let's see what happens if I run this file. So here is the file compile dot py. Now I can't do ./ because it's not executable, and I don't want to make it executable, but you can make it executable, right? So I'll just call the interpreter and pass it to it as an argument. So I'll say compile.py. There's a trouble here. Import error. My compile. No model name. It's actually py compile. What? How did my compile enter my head? Okay, so py compile. Alright, so let's run it again. So you run, no error. You run, no error. So by default, it will create this. You may have seen this before if you write programs on Python on the command line. It will create it directly like this, __ py catch __, and save the compiled file in using a kind of naming convention. So if I go there, you will see how it names it. It will put the name, the main name of the file, and put the extension, the dots, and put C Python. Then it will indicate what's this now exactly? Is it version or something? I don't remember what it actually is. And then it will add .pyc. This is the naming convention, but you can actually change it. Just like you can compile a C file and determine what the output, I mean, where the output will be saved to, or what it will be saved as. That is, if you do C on the command line, you understand what I mean. Okay, so let me go back to that file and do that. So I want to, no, this. So I want to compile it. The second argument will be, if I give the optional second argument, it will be the path to the compiled file. In other words, what I want it to be named. So I want it to be in the same directory. So I'll just put this on. I'll just put this here, and then I will say want it to be named compiled. You know, compiled file. Now this is very unconventional. You don't want to give this kind of name to your compiled file. I can add a third argument, do raise. Okay, sorry, let me not confuse you. The second is enough. I'm taking it bit by bit. Okay, so save. ls is there right now. So if I run that program again, let's see the result. This file was not here. It was created by my compiled file. It was created by my compiled file. See the contents. You want to see the content. Compiled file. Interesting, right? Looking like some executable binary codes. Okay, let's do some more with it. So what if I save that file in an environment variable? Let me call it error equals std. Okay, let's make an output equals std out dot py. Let's be sure. So echo dollar output. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to into my script compile.py onto my Python program and ask it to rather go into the environment variable named output. Of course, you have to put dollar here, dollar output, and get the file. What if I want the file? Do I need to? I don't think I need to put this in between quotes anymore. It's in environment variable, so I think it's okay like this. I may say, okay, I want the letter Z to be added to the compile one. Z, or let me say, okay, dollar. Sorry, not hash, dollar output. Remember concatenation I taught you earlier. So I wanted to add compile to it. So I'll not say underscore compiled. Right? So this is second, everything here is the second argument. I'm saying that when you compile a file, add underscore compile to the compiled one, to the compiled copy. Right? So let me save it now. Okay, so here we go. I want this place to be clean a bit, so I'm going to remove the py catch directory, and I'm going to remove the file we put earlier on, we compiled earlier on, compiled file. This place is a bit clean. Okay, it's a bit clean now. So I'm going to run the script compile.py. Let's see what happens. I expect it to go and compile this Python file and produce a directory and an executable that will be this underscore compile, or okay, let's see. So Python 3 compile.py. There's an error there. Am I supposed to put it inside a variable? How do I reference to this? How do I reference this guy effectively? Am I supposed to? Okay, so let's see what the error is. I'm not really sure. Am I supposed to enclose that guy in a bracket? Vim, come here. Let's try. Let's try and see. So if I enclose in the bracket, will it work? Okay. Let's try this. And again. Okay, the error is now with this one. That means it needs to be enclosed in brackets. Okay, we're making progress. So I'll put this one not in bracket, actually in single quotes, or in quotes, double or single, anyone you choose. Okay, let's see. All right, let me clear the screen. Let's hope that this one works this time. Not such file. Wow, what am I missing? I'm missing something, obviously. Why? Okay, let's see. Something is either wrong with my syntax, or find, compile, source bytes, load total file, frozen, import, what, file not found, not sort file directory, like this. And then why are you treating it like a variable now? What do you want me to do for you? So why is it not working that way? Am I supposed to use sys? It should work. I should be able to find it like this then. Okay, let's just say I want to add only C. And this is not a problem anyway. What could be the matter? Oh, I'm not sure right now. I'm not sure. Should I use a sys command? Okay, I'm not sure what the error is. So you may want to find out and let me know. I'm going to do research. I'm going to look at some. Okay, let's find out. No, I'm going to do little research and find out what it is, and then probably in the next video I'll talk about it. For now, I think this is a good place to stop. Simply to stop. If you have any question, please post us a comment on the YouTube video. I don't mind getting any question if you're a live audience. I don't mind getting some questions. So I will stop here for now. Yeah, so the bytecode business will continue later. Thank you very much for being part of this. And once more, if you're not subscribed to the channel, do well to subscribe, show some support. If you like a video and it's so cool to you, like it in real life, don't just like it in your mind, like it, subscribe and turn on the bell to get notifications when new posts are made, new videos are posted. So keep learning from one another. Alright, my name is Topman, Paul-Dike. I'm saying thank you for being part of this. And by the way, there is also the channel for our community code tribe. You may want to subscribe as well if you are yet to. I also have one of our own, Neymar Bello, or my network is slow now, who is dedicated to making C simplified. You may want to follow. Let's make hard things very doable. explained by Anthony very well. So for now, thank you very much.